Hi everybody and welcome to the United Stand. This is the latest Manchester United news and transfer news. I hope you're all doing really well. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants 3 more signings this transfer window as Manchester United struggle to move players out of the club. Interesting times ahead for Manchester United, especially when you realise that Chelsea are now about to make their 7th and 8th signing of the transfer window. They're about to buy a goalkeeper from Rennes, and then they're going to go for Declan Rice. And I said about half an hour ago on Twitter, I said, look, nothing against Donny van de Beek. I think he's a very good signing, the right signing for Manchester United. But would he be in the top 3 signings for what Chelsea have made this summer? I don't think he's better than Havertz. I don't think he's better than Werner. And is he better than Ziyech? I think it's close. And I like Van de Beek, but it's not about not liking Van de Beek. I think he's a very good signing for us. But what I'm saying is Chelsea are a club that finished level with us. And the ambition from their board is absolutely burying the ambition from ours. And look, yeah, Donny van de Beek. Ooh, we might sign Reguilon. We're probably going to sign... Well, we are going to sign Sancho, however you want to read it. But is it enough compared to a club that finished the same as us and has shown ambition that if you're a Chelsea fan, you must be loving what your club's doing? I think it's going to be very difficult for them to win the league, by the way. But, oh my God, they've shown ambition. They've shown a drive. And Manchester United, what are we doing? Swimming in a world of COVID. Oh, we can't spend money because of COVID. You've been in debt for 15 years, lads. You know, get on with it. What is the delay? What is the delay? I mean, look, I don't want to... Well, I do. I think there's big problems. I think there's big problems at Manchester United. I still always... You know, you have that buzz of Donny van de Beek, you have that buzz that we're in for Reguilon, but even if we get Reguilon, Van de Beek and Sancho, it doesn't compare to what Chelsea have done, and we could and should have done better. We needed a centre-back. That whatever you think about, well, yeah, Sancho's amazing, Van de Beek strengthens the midfield, and we've got a left-back. We needed a bloody centre-back. You fill the holes that you need, and I just think United... we're too bloody slow. We need a director of football, and we needed a director of football 3 years ago. And until we get a director of football, I still think we're going to be too slow. Like, there's a story in the Manchester Evening News today that United want to sell players, but they can't get rid of them because of their bloody wages. Chris Smalling, 70 grand a week. I mean, these are rough. I'm not a dog. Rough. These are rough estimates, but it's Chris Smalling, 70k a week. Phil Jones, 70k a week. Romero, 70k a week. Rojo, 70k a week. They're all trash. They're all absolute trash players, and they're on more than most Everton players are. Most Everton first teamers. In fact, forget Everton. They're probably on... Phil Jones and Rojo and Romero are probably on more than most of the Arsenal first team. Most of the Spurs first team. That's a bloody joke. Why are we paying massive wages to trash? And this isn't nothing. You know, this is nothing against Rojo, Jones and Romero now. Why did we ever give them that money in the first place? We're Manchester United. People want to play for Liverpool and they'll do it for a reasonable wage. Why won't people come to United and do it for a reasonable wage? Because our negotiation is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Romero should have wanted to come to United for 30 grand a week and be the reserve goalkeeper. Rojo should have wanted to come for 30 grand a week. Why are we giving them 70, 80 grand a week? And now we can't get rid of them. You can't get rid of them because West Ham... Wickham, they're not going to pay 70 grand a week to Rojo, so we're stuck. So we can't remove players to bring new players in. We've got 7 centre-backs. We need a centre-back. We've got 7 bloody centre-backs that we can't move on because of this issue around director of football. And, you know, bringing it back to signings, because this is what we want to see. Van de Beek, yeah, very good signing. Sancho, excellent signing. But... I just feel, and I don't know what you do, I feel that this Sancho deal could have been done in August. Like, Romano was talking about it being close at the start of August. We're now approaching the middle of September. Why would you wait 6 weeks unless it's to just elongate a transfer window? If we don't, how long can we get away? We're not buying anybody before the fans are chanting outside the ground. Ooh, if we do Van de Beek at the end of August, then we do Sancho at the middle of September. That's it. We've got through 3 months. We bought 2 players. Happy days. You know, the urgency to get out there and do business actually irritates me because there is no reason why we couldn't have done deals quicker than this. Nobody's gone out the door except for Alexis Sanchez, which in some ways was very lucky that Inter wanted him because I'm amazed we got rid of him. Nobody's gone. 1 player's come in and we're approaching the middle of September. and Chelsea are going for signing 7 and 8. We need a director of football. We desperately need a director of football. Chelsea making all these signings to finish 4th with no trophy, says Dave G. Well, they might do. They might do that, but you're hoping that's going to happen. If Chelsea finish 4th, then something's gone really, really wrong. I think if you're on your Premier League predictions, we're finishing 4th next year. I mean, at the moment, we're finishing 4th. Now, we can still make signings, and we will, but at the moment, we're finishing 4th. And that's what should happen. We should be finishing 4th because Chelsea finished level with us. They've done better business than us, and Man City and Liverpool were miles ahead of us. So 4th place should be what we're looking at the moment. And look, we have got time to still do signings, but I still would come back to the same old statement. Why have we taken so bloody long to do things? We've got to be way more efficient than this. And also on the centre-back, I feel like with the centre-back, we've drifted into this bloody transfer window like a piece of driftwood going down a river, hoping we're going to stop next to a rock and that rock's going to be a decent centre-back. Like, we're just drifting aimlessly. Like, we've come into this transfer window. And look, the reason I said Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants 3 more transfers, because this came out from the Manchester Evening News today, that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants 3 more signings, a centre-back, a striker, and a centre-forward. Now, a centre-back, a centre-forward, and a right-winger. Sancho is the priority. So, because we've got the midfielder that we wanted. And who is the centre-back? We seem to have come into this transfer window wanting a centre-back and having no idea who it's going to be. And, we're into September now. Who is the centre-back that we need and want? Who is it? Who are you going to get? And why have you not got them yet? Why are you leaving yourself with so much to do in such a short period of time? I mean, if my guesstimations are right, we've got 4 weeks today for the transfer window to shut. And we need 3 signings, 4 or 5 out the door. Chelsea are doing good business, but they're adding a lot of first-team players. I think Van der Beek, Sancho and Reguilon plus Bruno for a full season's decent, says Sean Turner. I actually don't. You know what? I'm not going to settle for that. I think we need a centre-back. We need a centre-back. I don't know why people are not focused on the fact that we need a centre-back. Oh, we'll just make do with Maguire and Lindelof, who don't actually work together. I like both players, but they don't work as a centre-back pairing. How can you build a team that's going to go deep into a Champions League or a team that's going to, get closer to Liverpool and Man City when the centre-back pairing doesn't work? Eric Bailly's unreliable. Phil Jones wears pink boots. No, he doesn't do it anymore, but he's, Phil Jones is Phil Jones. He's got his own word in the dictionary. He's a Phil Jones. Rojo, look, apparently Rojo's really impressed in training. Well, of course he's going to impress because he's got nowhere to go because he's absolutely terrible. Nobody wants him. So, yeah, of course we're going to get a little bit of PR about Rojo putting in extra effort at training. He's been here for bloody years. He's crap. Smalling's going to leave. Twansebi's been injured for a year. We have got 7 centre-backs, of which we can't field a pairing that's anywhere near good enough to get us into the top 2 in the Premier League at the moment. We need a centre-back. And who is it going to be? Are we going to get one? So, look, I'm not going to let Manchester United off the hook. I'm totally confident we're going to sign Sancho. I'm absolutely happy with Van der Beek. But I absolutely look at this situation, and I don't care what anybody says. The ambition of Chelsea, I actually think, if I'm honest, the ambition of Chelsea is ridiculous. I think it's too much. I think to buy 8 players is too much. I think 5 is about right. But I'd rather have too much than too little. And yeah, you know what I mean. But no, in a footballing sense, I'd rather have too many signings than 2 less. If you've got more to choose from, the better. But we're going to end up with 2 less. We're going to literally 2 less. We're going to end up with 2 signings, I think, at the moment. So, I need to get the finger out. And for anybody who wants to say, oh, now you can't compare yourself to Chelsea and all that. The reality is, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, like Jose Mourinho before him, like Louis van Gaal before him, and like David Moyes before him, do not believe this. All the managers we've had since Sir Alex Ferguson came in, and Sir Alex Ferguson himself under the Glazers, have gone into transfer windows wanting things and come out of it not with it. And that has been a running theme for 15 years at Manchester United. That's not to say we haven't made signings. Harry Maguire and Wan-Bissaka last year were good signings, but it wasn't everything he wanted. And this summer he's in very big danger of coming out of this summer transfer window with not everything that he wanted. What I would say to you is you've got to understand how Manchester United works. And we want a centre-back. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would have told the board the centre-back that he wants. He's clearly not getting it, is he? And he would have given them option 1, 2 and 3. Well, where are they? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will not have gone into this transfer window going, oh, I want a centre-back. I'll leave it to you, Ed. Get on Football Manager. No way. He will have told them the centre-back that he wants. He would have told them the striker he wants. He would have told them Sancho's the priority. And he would have said, I want Grealish, but if not, I want Van der Beek. And yeah, fair play. They've delivered on that. So there's 4 weeks for the club to sort this out. Dortmund and Man United's first game on the Saturday the 19th. Who will Sancho be starting for? Says Stuart Taylor. Did you see Everett in the Soccer Aid match yesterday? He put better crosses in from the right flank in one game than Wan-Bissaka's done all season, says Magic Sahota. And sell Deadwood, then use some of the money to pay the wage difference. Get them off the books. If we make a little, it's a bonus, says Johnny B. Goodwin. Yeah, but the club needs to start learning about this. I mean, this is a very important thing. And I've been saying it for a long time, and so have you. Rojo shouldn't be at the club anymore. Get him out. Romero, look, I like Romero, but we've got Henderson. Get him out. Phil Jones, get him out. One of Pereira, Lingard or Mata, get them out. I mean, but the wages of those players is astronomical. You know, you're talking probably $500,000 a week. It's ridiculous. Hi Mark, love the show. Please can you call my mate Matt Smith a prat? It's his birthday. And how many new players is too many at Chelsea? Will Frank cope? Says IG Kesmodo. I think that I actually would wonder what Roman Abramovich is expecting of Chelsea this season, because it is going to be hard for Lampard to integrate that many players, but it's a nice problem to have. Is this Twansebi's year instead of buying a centre-back, says Paddy of Cakes? I'm sure you asked this the other day, and the reality is, would you go into a season trusting Axel Twansebi when he's been out for a year? I mean, how many times do people need to know that when you have a long-term injury, you normally pick up another one? So, look, I think there's a very big chance we're going to go into this season having to hope that Twansebi is back and stays fit, that Timothy Fosu-Mensah is a Manchester United player, that Marcus Rojo can turn it around. We're going to have to go into this season hoping, sticking square pegs in round holes and hoping they fit. And that, to me, is a disgrace compared to what Chelsea have done, where they've gone out and gone, right, we've spent £80 million on Kepa. He's crap. Get rid of him. Get a new goalkeeper in. That defence, all right. Zuma and Rudiger, they look decent, but they ain't good enough. Get Thiago Silva in for a bit of experience. You know what? Alonso's not a bad left back. In fact, he gets you a lot of fancy Premier League points. Get Ben Chilwell in. You know, Mason Mount's good up and coming England player. Let's get Ziyech and let's get Havertz. They're not making do. They're doing better. They're showing an ambition, and I think that's what Manchester United should be doing to make Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job easier. And let's be honest here. The board aren't making his job any easier, and the players aren't making his job any easier. We've had the Greenwood thing today. He's had to come off Twitter, which I think is sad. I think he's had his punishment from England. I think, draw a line under it now. As a Manchester United fan, it's disappointing. The club is disappointed. They've released an official statement. Of course, it's disappointing when a player gets girls into a room when they're meant to be on a quarantine, but he's been kicked out of the England squad. He's an 18-year-old lad. I think he's had the punishment. We move on. We look after our own at Manchester United, let's just, the main thing for Mason is he doesn't do it again. Harry Maguire's got a court case hanging over him. I mean, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's had a lot to deal with this summer. A lot to deal with. Stuff he definitely doesn't want to deal with. So the club should be making his job easier and delivering to him. And I just think as a Manchester United manager, the way that they are treated because they don't get a director of football, you're basically chucked into the deep end without any armbands. Get up, learn to swim. And it's not fair. It's not fair. I don't think Solskjaer's getting the support he needs from higher up at all. And that doesn't mean he won't swim. And I hope he will swim because, we can hopefully all lift him up. But, I don't know what the excuse is for not getting these deals done quicker, for not getting people out the door quicker, and for not getting deals in quicker. And I think the only excuse can always be the same excuse, trying to save money. Leave it late to save money. We did it with Bruno in January. We lost 3 points to Burnley. We could have had Bruno in the middle of January, waited till the end of January, and we lost to bloody Burnley we wouldn't have lost to Burnley at home. If we'd had Bruno at home, we would not have lost to Burnley. The club was willing to let 3 points go in the Premier League to save a bit of money, and that's always going to be the problem. While you put money ahead of the football side of things, it's always going to be a problem, and we keep doing it. We keep waiting and waiting and waiting. And I don't know whether it's because they're trying to save $5 million. I don't know whether it's because they want to earn interest on the $80 million or whatever they're going to play for Sancho. But it's It needs to improve. We need a director of football. Whatever happens, we need a director of football, and the club need to appoint one. There are good ones out there. We need a director of football because it will help. It will help us get rid of players. It will help us stop paying stupid wages. I don't know Who gives the wages out at Manchester United? Like, realistically, this should be a bloody Sunday Times or the Athletic. Somebody should have somebody who's got the time, a really good journalist, could really write a really good article here of United's wages given since Sir Alex Ferguson's gone. The quest for fame, the quest to be good, and where Manchester United has lost its pulling power because we pay stupid wages. This is reputational. You've got to realise this is reputational. Manchester United Football Club should be a club that any player wants to go to and will go there on reasonable wages because they want to play for Manchester United in front of 75,000 people at the Theatre of Dreams. But along the way, we've become a club that now has a reputation for paying stupid wages, so that club players not only want to come here, but their agents also go, you know what? Not only are you going to get your dream move, I'm going to get you ridiculous wages because they're stupid. They pay stupid wages. And I guarantee if you look at every signing we've made since Sir Alex left and David Gill left, the money we've paid for mediocre players is a disgrace, and it shouldn't happen. You shouldn't be giving Phil Jones 70 grand a week, or Marcus Rojo 70 grand a week, or, whatever Romero's on. And at the other end, Juan Mata shouldn't be on 150 grand a week. We renewed when he was in his early 30s and on the decline. Somebody somewhere in that club is responsible for this, and the money they give out for a club that is about money, it's not good enough. It isn't good enough. Marcus Rojo, when he came from Sporting Lisbon, would have come to Manchester United for half that wage. And maybe he did, and maybe we've given him a new contract, but we should never be giving him that contract. And this is a big issue, and I don't see people talking about it enough, because it's another aspect of why we need a director of football, and it's another aspect of why we don't do transfers, because you end up with this deadwood that we all know's there, that we can't move, because look, where should Rojo go? Rojo and Jones, where should they go? West Ham? Lille? Something like that. West Ham and Lille, they can't afford to pay Phil Jones 70 grand a week because their best player's probably on that. And he's just going to be a player that they want, and they probably want to give him 30 grand a week. So we price ourselves out of getting the deadwood. It's a vicious circle. A vicious circle. Remember when Ollie said we were going to exploit the transfer market in Sky? Hope it materialises into out-of-the-box signings, not just obvious ones, says Adnan. The team that has exploited this market is Chelsea. They got Werner because of COVID-19. Liverpool would have got him. They exploited it. They've got Havertz when he would have gone to Bayern Munich or Real Madrid, but they couldn't afford him. Chelsea have absolutely not only exploited the market, they've absolutely, I was going to use the R word, but they've absolutely destroyed it. The more I watch Memphis, the more I think he would be a good backup to Martial. They're very similar in terms of hold-up play through the middle. I wouldn't go anywhere near Memphis, Knight R7, to be honest with you. Last year, we had the third best defence in the league, factually. Take out individual errors, we would have been the best defensive team in the Premier League. So right now, a first-team centre-back isn't a priority. Go and get a kid, says Dylan Tate. But Dylan, you need to use your eyes, mate. We came third in the Premier League. I'm going to sit you down, Dylan. I'm really sorry, because it's a good point. But the thing that jumps out to me, well, I might not sit you down. People might not agree. But my opinion is this. Of course, we should have the third best defence in the Premier League. We came third. Everybody else was shit. Like the third best defence in the Premier League is nothing to toot your horn about. Chelsea came fourth. They got the same points as us, and they lost 12 games. They lost one game every 3 games they played in the Premier League. That's shocking. So what are we championing? Oh, we've got the third best Premier League defence. Like everybody below Liverpool and Man City was trash, and Man City's defence was trash. So I would expect us to be second best defence in the league, really, with Liverpool miles ahead and us second, because the Premier League last year was crap defensively, awful. So what are we celebrating? We're celebrating being slightly better than everybody else who's crap. Like, this is Manchester United. I'm telling you now with my own eyes, it's not about getting rid of individual errors. Maguire and Lindelof don't work. They don't work as a partnership. I've seen so much football through my life, and you have as well. They don't work as a partnership. They're too bloody similar. They both like to bring the ball out the back. They can both play the same sort of passing range. They're both small. Maguire's good in the air. Lindelof's not as good in the air. They're not particularly good against quick players. Obviously, speed is a problem. They're not particularly good against skillful players. So they don't complement each other. We need look, whether it's Lindelof and somebody else or it's Maguire and somebody else, that centre-back pairing cannot win a Premier League. So The longer you stick with it and make do, the longer we're not winning the league. We need, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, more importantly, wants a centre-back. And he wants a centre-back for exactly what I've said just there, because the partnership doesn't work. Ideally what you want is Maguire with a centre-back that they work together and Lindelof is the bench player. Because I like Lindelof. And if Maguire got injured and you played Lindelof with the new signing, I'd be more than happy. But as a pairing, no. And I've been saying it for ages. Hi, Mark. When we signed Sancho, let's sing to the tune of Fernando, ABBA. There was something in the air the night. The stars were bright. Jadon Sancho. No, that's my Bruno song, Shrey the Grey. And what good centre-backs are available? Everyone wanted that Gabriel, but has anyone ever seen him play? He's a rubbish version of Bay, who's terrible, says Sean Durner. But you've just said you've never seen him play. And if they go for Mings, it will be putting oil in the fire, says Jat. Well, look, we have got our targets. I don't know who they are, but we have got our targets. Smash a like on the video if you're watching live, please. And subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. Lots and lots still to talk about. I just want to say as well, Sam Perry, remember for us it's Friday night, we had our Boohoo Man sponsorship program, and there was a competition to be entered in by midday today. Everybody who entered, well done. But the winner of the £800 voucher for Boohoo Man, and I think you've already had your email, is Sam Perry. Well done for winning that. I think there's going to be another one of those at some point this week as well. But well done to Sam Perry. £800 to spend at Boohoo Man. Well done. Well done. Make sure you get the stuff I wore, actually. It's quite nice. Ikeen loves the show. Thank you very much. Well, the community drives the show, and that's what it's all about. So, a little bit of positive news. Levitt is going to go on loan to the Championship, and I think Garner's going to go on loan to the Championship. This is very good news. We need this to happen. We need to get our young up-and-coming players out in the Championship. This worked really well for Chelsea with Tomori and Mason Mount and Tammy Abraham, and United need to start getting some of their younger players out on loan as well. So I'm very, very positive about that. I think it's a good thing. The left back situation, well. I mean, look, the left-back situation, I spoke about this afternoon. Reguilon, I don't know how you pronounce his name. Reguilon sounds better to me. Telles at Porto. The only thing I'm going to say about this is I'm a little bit worried. And I don't know what you think. I'm a little bit worried about this. Because what if, and I'll give a scenario here, and I'm not going to name any outlets, but if you take a general consensus of what's going on with Telles, to a lesser extent, but certainly with Sergio Reguilon of Madrid, Manchester United have been offered him, as of other clubs, and Real Madrid have offered him out for a loan or a loan to buy or something like that. Manchester United are monitoring the situation. Now, that to me scares me, because it's like, it just sounds a bit like it suits everybody. This player's available, we're interested, it fills a few days in the transfer window, and ultimately we don't do anything. And what have we done? Lost another week in the transfer window. So I'm a little bit worried at the moment, and I think it's probably sparked by what I was talking about at the start of the show. I just don't really appreciate or like how much of the transfer window we've actually wasted. And it doesn't mean we're not going to do business, because we are. But have we left ourselves enough time to do all the business we need to do? And actually, has some of our activity been purposely staging this transfer window, pushing it back further and further, so that actually when we announce the big signing, the Sancho, that buzz will last for 2 weeks, and that takes another 2 weeks of the transfer window, and then, oh look, the transfer window's nearly over, this is all we've got, and actually Rojo's still here to play, So that's my concern at the moment with the Reguilon and the Telles rumours, is will we actually buy a left back, or is it actually just suitable that, oh, United have been offered it, they're monitoring it, they didn't do anything about it. Let's not forget Gabriel. We were monitoring the Gabriel deal for Arsenal. Fabrizio Romano said that we were in talks with his agent, no official bid yet. Thiago, the same. Oh, Ollie's had chats with his agent, but no official bid yet. So we seem to have had a few of these deals in recent weeks. Well, they're not deals, these stories in recent weeks, where credible outlets are saying we're monitoring the situation, we've spoken to the agent of the player, but then we've not got it over the line. And I just worry that, are we in a bit of a PR spin cycle here where it suits United to be in for a player that generates a lot of interest and excitement, but then it doesn't happen, and then, oh, we'll just do Sancho now, and they'll forget about that. And then you end up with just Sancho and Van der Beek, and you keep most of your deadwood. And that's my only fear at the moment. Because look, when we sign Sancho, whenever that is, that's going to be the biggest signing of the summer, and we're going to be there going, oh, look, Chelsea, you bought 8 players, but we've got Sancho. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to react like that. You're going to react like that. But ultimately, when the dust settles on this transfer window, if we come out of it with Van der Beek and Sancho and nobody else, and we've still got Phil Jones, Chris Smalling, Andreas Pereira, then is it the summer window that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer deserved? It's a good one, but it's not what should have happened. And again, it goes back to 3 letters, DOF, Director of Football, because a Director of Football doesn't come into a transfer window with his pants round his ankles trying to pull them up. He comes in fully dressed, in a suit, with an envelope, with loads of envelopes saying, I've already done a deal, go, 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 in. But pretty much what Chelsea have done. I think Chelsea's transfer window, the only problem Chelsea have had is this transfer window is fitting the deals in every few days so that each signing gets the focus they deserve. Because that's what they've done. They've just moved it gradually. They've mapped it all out. I think United are all over the place. I don't think they've mapped anything out. I think it's all over the place. And we actually, I don't think we should have signed 8 players, but we should have done 8 deals. We should have had 3 or 4 coming in and 4 going out. And at the moment, we've had 1 in and 1 out. And that is not enough. In my opinion, we need to get rid of 15 players and get in 5 players. Van der Beek, Sancho, Reguilon, Upamecano, Grealish with return of loan players, says Shri Aditya. I can see Chelsea leaking goals next year. Thiago will be found out and Chilwell won't help, says Braden. Look, I mean, Chelsea fans won't want to listen to that, but we're not a Chelsea fan channel. They bloody need one. They should buy one there, actually. They haven't even got a bloody fan channel that's any good. But I wouldn't want Thiago Silva at United. I've said this. It's nothing to do with Chelsea. I think Chelsea have done great business. I'm not a fan of Chilwell, and I didn't want him at United. And a lot of Leicester fans are over the moon with that deal. And I wouldn't want Thiago Silva at his age. I think it's too much of a risk. But having said that, if it's Thiago Silva and Ben Chilwell over a nobody, I would take them, because Chilwell and Shaw would give you really good cover, and Thiago Silva's better than most of our centre-backs. So, of course, I would take them over nobody, but I would hope that United can do better than that. Welcome to the Members Club, John Evans. Imagine if it was Johnny Evans. You're welcome. And what do you think about the Greenwood Foden situation, says Kendall? Well, I have spoken about it. Refreshing to listen to you. Love your engagement, says Renate. Thank you very much, Renate. Thanks to the member, actually, John Evans. Really appreciate it. Members Club, you get your little badge next to your name, supporting the channel. Lots and lots of things planned. Hopefully we're going to start moving through this COVID and we can start doing the things we want to do. We want to go to Norway, we want to go to India. We've got the Dublin trip. We'll do another London one, obviously Manchester, America, Australia. We want to start getting out on the road and having meetups with this fantastic community that we've got. So the Members Club enables us to do that, because these ticketed events that we're going to run, we won't be charging you to enter. You won't be paying for a ticket. It's going to be funded through the membership. So thanks everyone who becomes a member and supports the channel, because we don't do Patreon and paid content, paid firewalls or whatever they're called. Can you say happy 18th birthday to my friend Morgan, please, says Niall McClare. Happy birthday to Morgan, and I'm sure everyone in the live comments will say that as well. And what do I think about the Foden and Greenwood situation? Well, I've already reacted to it. The video at lunchtime, if you want to, it's at the start of that video what I think about it. Disappointed is the word. I'm disappointed. I thought Foden played well, and I think, I think fair play to Pep. Foden's a young player that he's actually using. Greenwood, to me, can be anything he wants to be, and they've both acted like a couple of prats, really. Not for the girls. Look, I've got no problem with what their urges are as young men. That's fine. Morally, okay, they might be in relationships. I'm not going to judge on that, because whatever, loads of people cheat and whatever, and I don't even know if they have. The problem is, you're away for 4 days with England, and you've got 2 important games. They're not friendlies. This is not a lad's piss up in Benidorm. This is England internationals. You've been called up for the first time in Mason's case. You're away for 4 days. You've got 2 important games. You're in a hotel with the England team where you're meant to be quarantining, and you're on the phone to girls, sneaking them into the hotel to do whatever you're going to do, which is totally against what the club rules are. It just shows a total lack of maturity, which is fine because they're 18, a total lack of respect, and at the end of the day, a little bit of arrogance and naivety that they just need to grow up. And they've been kicked out of the England squad, and I'm sure they absolutely realise that they've overstepped the mark, and hopefully both players, it will be the making of them, because they are fantastic talents, but they need to, I would hate, you know what, and as a United fan I'll hate it even more, but even for both of them, I would hate for those two players to destroy their talent through their own self-destruction. I've seen it. I've heard about it with people like George Best. I've seen it with people like Paul Gascoigne. And look, different reasons with them. Drink was the problem, but self-destruction comes in many forms. And get your head down. Look at Lionel Messi. Look at Cristiano Ronaldo. And they are world-class players. And, you know, Greenwood can be that, but he's got to dedicate his life to that. He's got this God-given talent. He's got the opportunity at Manchester United. He's a fantastic player. He needs to get his head onto being a footballer and stop falling into the trappings of the wider thing. And if he's falling into those traps, get people around him who are going to keep him away from it. You know, rooming with... I mean, to be honest with you, look, I don't know the full details, but does some responsibility not fall onto Gareth Southgate? I mean, at the end of the day, they are good mates, but they're both teenagers. Should they not be with more senior players in that squad so that they're sort of, you know, nurtured in the right way? If Rashford had been there, would he have roomed up with Greenwood? I don't know. But maybe that's something England need to look at as well, because responsibility comes from good leadership as well. And if you leave a couple of kids on their own, maybe they're going to act like that. So there's lessons to be learned. But ultimately, I feel that the punishment fits the crime. He's been sent home. It's embarrassing. And now we move on. And hopefully he'll come into the season like Maguire with a real determination to put this right. And it can be the making of him. You know, it could be the making of him. Because you know what, actually, I was thinking about this afternoon in relation to Mason Greenwood. Imagine if he's doing this all the time. Imagine he's flaunting the rules all the time, but nobody ever finds out about it. It never hits the press. And, you know, he's just got that attitude of taking the piss. And he does it. And it affects where his game goes. Surely it's better that an 18-year-old he's been exposed and he's been found out, and it's the kick up the arse he needs. And what a great time to get a kick up the arse, 18, because he's still got years of development ahead of him, and this might be the thing that he always looks back and goes, I ain't doing that again. I'm going to be a model professional. So let's hope that's what happens, and I think it will. Can Ollie be successful under Woodward and the Glazers, says Chicarito? It's very difficult. It is very difficult. Welcome to the Members Club, Savage Turbo and Carl Newton and Braden Barnett. Really appreciate it. Thanks for that. And Saeed mentioned today that all of his sources close to his club said Sancho will be announced on the 16th. Thoughts? Jonathan Berry. I mean, look. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing because I almost feel I want to say no comment to Saeed and his sources, because it's bollocks. It really is bollocks. And he's doing himself no favours falling into this ITK crap. Like, it really is. I know the guy. I know his background. I know what he does for a job. I know everything. And I know what people think about him. And there is no way he has got sources giving him information like that. So I hope he's right. And I will apologise if that turns out to be correct. But no. I love this community. You're a top lad, Mark, says Ian Notley. I'd trust Ricky over that, to be honest. But no. And look, to be honest with you, on Sancho, picking a date like the 16th, which is 14th in a week, Monday. You know what? To be fair, the 16th does make a lot of sense. But there's absolutely no way Manchester United know what day Jadon Sancho's signing. And I'll tell you for why. Because it's not an agreed deal. To think it's on the 16th would be to believe that this deal is done, everything's signed, and it's all being kept quiet for the 16th. We're not at that stage. I can tell you for a fact Dortmund think at this moment in time that Sancho is staying, because Manchester United have not paid the fee that they want. Now that fee will be paid, but until it gets paid, there can be no end date. So if you think it's the 16th, that would mean, oh, they've got all these emails and they've got all the promos ready, but they don't know it's the 16th, so it can't be the 16th as of now. Doesn't mean it won't happen on the 16th. It could be a very accurately lucky guess, whatever, but it's not at that point. As I've said for weeks, and Fabrizio Romano will back it up, Christian Falk, Jan Åge Fjørtoft, the Manchester Evening News, this deal can be done very, very quickly. It's so close you can almost touch it, but we're not at that point yet. And it's not going to escalate until after tomorrow night when Jadon Sancho's played for England. And I think it will happen. I don't think it's going to happen this week. I don't think it's going to happen this week. I feel it'll escalate over the weekend, back end of this week. And then, look, Van der Beek was basically a done deal on the Sunday. What was the day that it was official? Was it Thursday? So, it could end up being the 16th, but I'd like it to be a little bit earlier than that, because I'd like him to be training with United by next Tuesday so that he can play in the game on Saturday against Crystal Palace, because we lost to Crystal Palace last year at home, and to not have Sancho in to save a few quid, if we drop points against Palace, that's the board again messing about when you could have had him in for that game. So get your best players ready for that game. But we should have enough to beat them. Welcome to Sean, latest member of the club, and Radu. Thank you very much for joining the members club. Keep the questions coming in. Nobody knows anything about the Sancho deal apart from you, says Ange. No, I don't know. I don't know anything about the Sancho deal. I think people think I do. I don't. I don't know anything about the Sancho deal. I don't. I've said this to you so many times. Anybody who tells you the day he's signing is a lie. It's a liar, because it's not been finished yet. So you can't say, oh, we've got all the photographs and the promo work ready, because that's arrogance to the level that even United wouldn't go. We have a plan in place, but we don't know the day we're going to sign him, and nobody knows the day we're going to sign him. And if you ask Fabrizio Romano, he would say at this moment in time, it's unresolved. It's still going on, but it's unresolved. So we haven't got over the line with Dortmund yet. And until we get over the line, we're not going to know what day it's going to happen. If on Saturday it's all going mad about Jadon Sancho to United, then he might start to think it could happen Monday, officially Tuesday, because the deal could happen on Thursday, but he might not be holding up a shirt until next Monday. So my concern with this is this weekend is not going to be like the weekend we signed Donny van der Beek, because it's a Premier League weekend. Like, are we going to do big Sancho negotiations when everyone's talking about the Premier League? I don't know. United have got to... They're going to want the clicks, unfortunately. The shareholders' meetings that they have, they always mention the media interactions. They're going to want this Sancho deal to be massive. So maybe it will go into next week, so we've got a whole big week ahead of the start to a season. But I would like it to start kicking in from Wednesday. But we'll see. I can't start predicting dates, because I think that's a silly thing to do. Thursday 6 p.m. deal done, Sancho. I know this because my somebody told my your postman told you. Reguilon is going to be announced this Friday, says KG Mendes. Well, yeah, I mean, that's something that could happen this week. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think Thiago's going to happen, by the way. I think we've got a slim chance of getting Thiago. I'm encouraged by the developments around the left-back, but I don't feel it's... I still don't feel totally confident, as I said, about the left-back. For me, this could just all be a big PR spin filler from Real Madrid and Manchester United and everybody. I don't know. My dream signing for United would be Van der Sar as director of football. He could probably still be a decent backup for De Gea as well, says David. I'd love David De Gea to be... I would love Van der Sar to be our director of football. In fairness, you can't give out about the clubs not spending 120 million but then give out about ridiculous wages, says Aaron Maguire. In fairness, you can't give out about the club not spending 120 million then give out about... I disagree with you, Aaron. I'm sorry. So what you're basically saying is I can't give out about ridiculous wages when we're going to spend 120 million on Sancho. That's idiot. Is that not a really silly comment to make? So because I'm happy for us to spend £120 million on one of the best talents in world football, I can't moan about paying 70 grand to 4 or 5 shit footballers. Like, that's stupid. That's like saying, well, you can't moan about spending a few million on a Ferrari when you're spending a few million on a Vauxhall Astra. Like, there's no correlation there. You can't say that I can't moan about Jones and Romero and Rojo's wages when we're going to spend 120 million on Sancho. It's incomparable. Jadon Sancho is worth 120 million. Romero, Jones and Rojo ain't worth 70k a week. So there's no correlation there. No correlation. And actually, if we weren't paying those stupid wages to those players, then we'd probably have more money to spend on the Sancho deal anyway. So, no, I'm sorry. I'm not having that. And hi, Mark. Love the channel and the community. Keep up the good work, says John Evans. Thank you very much. And I absolutely agree with you about the ridiculous wages. Players should be coming to play for the club and the manager, says Sri Aditya. Please subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. I've just been asked to check something. Let's have a look. It's probably a load of bollocks, but let's have a quick check. Of course, we will go live if there is any news before, but we are normally live every morning at 10 a.m. And Luke Purdy says, I haven't even prepared my mind for next season without Sancho. Mate, neither have I. Neither have I. So, look, I'm very confident this deal is going to happen. I mean, what I would say is, imagine... And I don't want to dwell on this too much because it's just like worst case scenario. But imagine we didn't sign Jadon Sancho and we got Van der Beek and Douglas Costa. And look what Chelsea have done. I mean, I think Chelsea have had a better window than us even if we get Sancho now. Of course they have. But imagine we didn't get Sancho and we got Douglas Costa, Josh King. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, I cannot go into another season trying to lower our expectations and pretend and hope that players that are not good enough are suddenly good enough. You can't fight Chelsea, Liverpool and Man City with hope and two arms tied behind your back. It's like jumping into a boxing ring with Tyson Fury with two arms tied behind your back and an evil stare. Like, you're going to get knocked out. Hope's not going to help you. Like, what? Oh, Tyson Fury might slip and knock himself out on the turnbuckle. You know, it's not... You can't do that. So, look, we have to get Sancho. We have to get him just to give ourselves a bit of a chance going into this season. Because if we don't, and our window's going to be Van der Beek, Josh King and Douglas Costa or something like that, fourth is our ceiling, isn't it? Simple as that. So, look, over to you, Manchester United. It always is in the transfer window. You've got to start moving things through. I really hope this Reguilon and Telles stuff isn't just PR spin and nothing happens with it, because that's wasted another week. I really hope we're going to kickstart this Sancho deal as soon as he's out of the England squad on Wednesday. And I really hope that we are going to get a centre-back in, because I think it's really important. And I will just say, I totally expect us to sign Josh King towards the end of September, early October. I think we'll slip it in there because he's cheap. He'll probably cost about 15 million quid. He ain't no United player, and I think he'll get slipped in as the striker. But look, to me, that's a nothing signing. Some people will like it, some people won't. It's irrelevant. I'm not bothered about it as long as we get a centre-back and Sancho in. The fans deserve to know what the injury is with Axel. This is getting beyond a joke with him, says Lee Taylor. Apparently it's a foot injury, and I just don't think the Glazers are any serious about getting back on top. I fear Donny was our last signing of the summer. Glazers out, says Avik, and it won't be our last signing. No. I'm not going to go down that route. I'm not going to say, oh my God, we're not going to sign anybody else other than Donny van der Beek. That's not going to happen. That's not what I'm moaning about. I'm moaning about the money we pay to crap players so that we can't then sell them. Need a director of football. The slow pace at getting players in. Need a director of football. And backing your manager. The manager has not had the window that he wanted, and we're back in training now. Need a director of football. For me, it all comes back to the same thing that we could continuously talk about. We need a director of football, because when it comes to recruitment, retention and removal of players, the 3 R's, we need a director of football. And we're never going to improve until we get somebody to do that job who knows what they're doing. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. You can watch Donny van der Beek, actually. He's playing at the moment for Holland. Thanks everyone for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Thanks to all the new members tonight. Really appreciate your support, and I cannot wait till we get to that point where we can start doing some of these meetups around the world and start meeting each other and doing these things and properly, because we've got a fantastic community, and I thank you all. I'm Norwegian and watching our game. King on the bench, says Andreas Vicken. Yep. It's just not United stand, isn't it? Sorry, it's just not United. It's just not United quality. Thanks everyone. Have a good evening, and look, if anything happens later, we'll go live, but back again in the morning. Hopefully things start moving. See you all soon.